Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Now, I'll definitely say that this last winter, or at least the last 6 months, has been flashlight-tastic here on Moorlander EDC. I've probably made more flashlight content in the last 6 months than I have in the last 5 years. Oh yeah, by the way, channel's just turned 5, that's kind of cool. But anyway, which is great because I've learned a hell of a lot about torches, about batteries, about LEDs and all that sort of stuff. So, well, I mean, I've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy it too. But we're back again today for some more Klarus flashlight content, and this is the Klarus XT12GT Pro. Now, Klarus have been a supporter of the channel now for the last maybe 3 or 4 years, so I want to say a huge thank you again for them for sending me this my way. Full disclosure, obviously they sent this to me free of charge, but the amazing relationship that I have with them is that they trust me to give my 100% valued opinion. Generally I try to stick away from opinions, I just like to give you the specs, but yes, this will be, I've not been paid to review this kindly or anything like that. Yeah, as the rest of my content is as well. Let's get the waffle out of the way and let's get into some XT12 GT Pro content. What I'm going to do is, I'm just going to refer this to the XT12 from now on, mainly because I keep forgetting, I keep calling it the GT12 when it's the XT12 GT Pro. But yes, from now I'll just refer to it as the XT12, but you can see the full title here, XT12 GT Pro. Just some extra little information here on the front. So maximum on turbo is 1600 lumens, 850 meters throw. Yes, this is a tactical thrower. On the bottom here as well, let's just turn this round, just gives you some similar information here. So we are definitely talking about high candela on this, 288 hours. That will be on its lowest setting. USB Type-C charging, 500 milliamp hour. 5,000 milliamp hour, and yes, we are IPX8 rated for water and dust, by the way, just in case you didn't get that bit. Boxing on this, I'll definitely say, so I'm not saying that Klarus unboxing isn't usually a nice thing, but I'm guessing because this is the Pro version that they've gone that extra little bit on this. Really has a nice unboxing. So here you just got some extra little information about making sure that you take the bit on there so that the battery will work. Here is the light. Klarus really go next level when it comes to these little holsters. Velcro on the front, you have this really tough ballistic style material on the outside, and then on the back side you have a pass-through for a belt, or you have an up and over just in case you did want to pass this through some PALS webbing, or maybe you've just got a certain type of way that you like to attach it. But from the size of this, it is more of an off body, I suppose, on body kind of carry. You could carry this in your pocket, but you need pretty big pockets. So yeah, so there's a light. I'll just put that to the second for one side. You have your usual type of box of accessories. So in here there is a USB Type-C cable, and where is it? It's here. I know it's here. So you have an adapter on this. The battery in here is a 21700 battery, but if you wanted to, you can put an 18650 battery in here too. Instead, not as well as, obviously that would be quite a tight fit. I'm sure that's what she said. Anyway, so yes, you do get one of those adapters, and then plus in here you get a little bag of all of the gubbins that you'd expect. So you get a little lanyard, and there's also some additional O-rings in there as well. Yeah, just in case you need to replace those. Okay, so back to the light itself then. Now, as I mentioned, the holsters that you get are very high quality from Klarus. You get this ballistic style material on the outside, and then on the inside it's more of a nicer, softer neoprene. So if you wanted to keep this in as nicer condition for as long as possible, then yeah, definitely recommend keeping it in there. But as I mentioned, for the size of this, on my hand here, so I have a 9-inch span. We will go through some of the measurements in a second anyway. But yeah, you know, this is the type of thing that you would definitely have on your rig. You'd have this on your belt. Or if you needed to, you know, you'd be able to put this in the glove box or keep this in your truck. So getting back to the actual dimensions themselves, so as far as the length is concerned, from the tail cap through to the striking bezel here at the front is 171 millimeters. At its widest here at the top, where the head unit is, I mean, look into there. We are going to get to candela and the reflector in a second anyway, but look how deep that is. It's almost mesmerizing. But anyway, sorry, where was I? The top, the dimensions for at least the circumference here at the top is 45 millimeters, and then it gets down to closer to more of a standard 1-inch barrel or shaft here. This is its slimmest part here where your hand will grasp. It does widen out ever so slightly when you get to the tail unit or the tail cap here, but it comes in at 27 millimeters. It's crafted from aluminium. It's a really tough anodized aluminium, again, you know, as you expect from these style lights. Battery wise, I tell you what, while I'm taking this off, let's talk the weight. Mentioning again, you know, it is made from aluminium, so you'll find that it is reasonably light. It comes in at 171 grams, and that is without the battery. So the battery on here, let's get this on, so it's at the right angle. Hopefully you can see it is a 21700. We've got 5000 milliamp hours, and it is a 3.6 volt. You can put an 18650 into this, as I mentioned. Where's the little adapter gone? There is this wee adapter that you can put in there so that you can put an 18650 battery in there. You could also put CR123A batteries in here as well. I'd probably always recommend an 18650, mainly because they're designed for a higher throughput as far as your charge is concerned. But the battery that comes with it, I have tested this, so it is a standard. This isn't a sort of a proprietary one that Klarus use. It is a standard one. I have tested it with other 21700 batteries. It works perfectly. And yes, it will also work whilst charging. So that goes in there. Oh, a little point for the people that like to know this sort of stuff. So hopefully you'll just see it in there. In the head unit, it does have a spring, and there is also a spring in the tail unit. So if this is being used and it's being rattled around, and you want to make sure you still have a constant stream of light, then you will have a constant stream of light, because the springs at both ends act as a buffer if the battery should move within there. Just at the top here you have your plug. So the plug in here, you'll be able to get access to your the USB Type-C. Klarus plugs, these are ridiculous, and I mean this in the best possible way. So absolutely ridiculous. These things are bomber. When that is on there, I mean, listen to that. The air seal on that is, yeah, everyone should be like this. Just a little note for the manufacturers out there, you know. Some extra other little features about the construction. So you have some nice knurling here on the shaft to make sure you've got a good grip. Also on the back here you have a standard thread, so if you needed to attach this to a tripod, then you can easily attach this to a tripod as well. There is also a removable pocket clip if you'd like to take that off too. Now getting back to the business end, I just did turn this round. Unfortunately it messes with the white balance of the camera a little bit too much if I keep it there, but again you can see it genuinely is mesmerizing when you look into that. But the reflector in here is an incredibly smooth and very deep reflector to make sure that all of those lumens are directed into a focal point. The candela on this, on its max output, which is turbo of 1600 lumens, is 160,000 candela, which is pretty good, and that's where we're able to get for a spotlight like this, rather than a floodlight. This is a spotlight, and yeah, you can get your 850 meters out of this. The LED module that's in here, it's great that we're able to find out. I know there's a lot of other companies that don't confirm which one it is, but it's an STF40, a luminous STF40 LED in there. Oh, I suppose last little thing before we get into, you know, how it works and everything, that you do get a striking bezel on this. So if you're in well, whatever field that you work in, you need to get access, or even if you need to use this tactically to, you know, poke somebody with it, yes, you have a nice toughened striking bezel there at the front as well. As far as the UI is concerned, Klarus have a very simple UI that is used by a lot of different manufacturers. It's a tried and tested user interface, but they do like to mix it up. So rather than just having this one, you know, this is your only option, you have a tactical mode, but then you also have an EDC everyday style mode. It's all done through the tail switch, so you have two buttons. You have your on and off, which is your main clicker, but then you also have a mode selector here at the bottom. When it's in its tactical mode, your mode button here, which is your little selector paddle, you push that down and it will give you instant access to your strobe. If you press it down, it will give you momentary access to that. If you press it down and hold it and then release, you'll notice that it will keep it on there. You press it again, it will turn it off. If you're not after strobe and you want to just full beam, then you press the main button and it will give you full beam, and because it's in its tactical mode, it will give you full beam on its turbo setting instantly. If you then want to change that with your mode selector here, you can then cycle from turbo to high to medium to low. Now that's a tactical mode, but as I mentioned, there is an everyday mode to this, and it's relatively simple to be able to switch it between the two. And what I'll just direct you to is there is a small LED here behind this clear panel. So to change between the modes, you keep your hand down or your finger down on the mode button here. So you have to depress this for at least 5 seconds, and the LED will change. It'll blink. It will then change color, as it has just done. If I then press the other button here on the end, that has just switched the modes. Now before, if you pressed the mode button, it gave you instant access to your strobe button, whereas with this now, if I press this, it will give you instant momentarily access to your low. If I keep it down, it will then, after a few seconds, it will then stay on low, and you know, I can do whatever I want with this. If I want to then be able to cycle from low, medium, high, turbo, I then use the mode button again. So we're on low, medium, high, turbo, and you know, you can turn it off by clicking the main button. If you wanted to go the opposite direction from turbo, high, medium to low, you can still do that, but instead of using the mode button, you use the main button. So now we're on turbo, and then using the mode, I can then move this down from turbo to high to medium to low. So it's actually a really nice system that they've got. And again, you know, if I wanted to then swap this back to its tactical mode, just find that little LED which is here, hold this down for at least 5 seconds, the LED will turn off. It'll then blink back red, then green. I press the button again, I can turn that back off again, and then with the mode I get instant access to strobe, and with the main button I get instant access to turbo. Very simple system, and it's a very nice light, and the UI works very well for this. But you know, let's have a look at how this works in the dark. Okay, now the sun has gone down, it's about 1 o'clock in the morning, but I will say here in the Northern Hemisphere we're 3 days away from the longest day. So it's dark. It's not as dark as it does get during the winter. But at this moment in time we're on the low mode. Now with this flashlight being more of you know, a spotlight, this is for searching out things. There isn't a moonlight setting on this, it just comes straight in at low. Now what I've done is I've put this onto the everyday mode, So on low, this is your 10 lumens. Back to where I used to do. I do need to move back just a little bit. So there's that tree that we often look at, just about 10 meters away. We've got that duck pond, little section here in the middle where there's a little duck house on. Turning around to see the trees on the far side there, which you can't really see. But I'd say for a low mode, 10 lumens is pretty good. Being able to walk the dogs on this sort of mode is it's certainly one of the best modes on here. Then with another tap of the mode button, it then jumps up to the medium mode. So medium mode on this jumps up from 10 lumens to 100 lumens. Being able to see that tree here, hell of a lot easier being able to look up into the canopy. Towards the back here again, just startled some of the ducks there. So there's that little duck house. What I'll do is I'll hold this out as I often do. Hopefully, well actually no, we'll do that on this next setting, but say so for 100 lumens, the candela on this really does help that to show there. Turning this around at the tree on the other side there, and we've also got this little bat that's flying around as well. Certainly a lot easier to be able to see that tree over there. That tree is probably 30 meters away. Again, you know, it's very easy to see like this. Another kick of the mode button then takes this up into the high mode. So that jumps from 100 lumens up to 500 lumens. So getting back into the middle here, this little duck thing, so much easier to see. I'm also going to hold this out so you can see the beam of light that's coming from this. Turn it 45 degrees, back to center, 45 degrees, back to center. So you can see the spill has a very warm, or at least a very defined warm spot there in the middle. And it also has incredibly well defined skirt around the spill. Bringing this round again, so the tree that's over there, oh sorry, I was just looking down for a second. The tree that over there, it absolutely fully illuminates that tree. Let's just move down here for a second. Should be able to see it easier. The detail in the water, it's very good at picking up the detail in the water. I will say that the LED unit that this uses, it does produce a very clear light. The quality of the light that it produces also, you know, it's very good. But yes, on this high mode, this is 500 lumens, and then you can do another click, which then takes it up to the turbo, which is 1600 lumens. Like I think a lot of people that make content on flashlights, the camera really doesn't do it justice. That tree there is now lit up like a Christmas tree. If you look at the skirt on the spill there, you can see that it's incredibly well defined. Turning around, being able to see this little duck pond, or at least this little duck house thing there. Again, so much easier. Looking up into the canopy where the light hits the trees, it's almost as though daylight is there. You can also see little bits of water or something glistening on the tree there. But yes, incredibly well focused beam. I think when we're looking at the candela that this light does throw out, you can certainly see this. Actually, looking down into the detail in the water, even from this height, we're probably about 3 or 4 meters away. So there is a fish there. You might not be able to see it, but I can see a fish swimming around. In fact, I can see several fish in there. And there's that bat again on this side. Being able to see the ducks. So the ducks have they've just moved around the back of it. I've probably annoyed them ever so slightly there, but yeah, the amount of light that this kicks out, 1600 lumens on its turbo mode, does an incredibly good job throwing that light, all 1600 lumens, and it's 160,000 candela. Yeah, really pushing and focusing that light into a focal point. Now, I'd definitely say that the XT12GT Pro is a fine example of a spotlight like this. I've become a fan of Klarus lights over the years. I think they're making some great decisions on the lights that they're making. The build quality of these is phenomenal. The quality of the light that they produce is great, and I think they're at that point as well where they've got everything value for money wise. They've got it pretty much spot on, and that also is addition to the fact that working with a company like this, they're really nice people, and yeah, I look forward to making more content with them again in the future. Now, of course, I will leave all of their links below so that you can see more from this light and where you can pick one up. I'll also leave some of my social media links below so you can check me out here on Moorlander EDC and on my sister channel, Moorlander Tactical. But as always, for now, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. XT12GT Pro, XT12GT Pro, XT12GT Pro, XT12GT Pro, XT12GT Pro. I keep saying it wrong. XT12GT Pro. Let's do this. I am terrible with names. I forget my daughter's names. I forget my wife's name. Where was I? XT12GT Pro. Let's grab it. Yeah. Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Now, it has been I forgot the word. XT12GT Pro. XT12GT Pro, does it say on the back? No, it doesn't, damn it! I think I fluffed it a bit there. I think it's when I go off piste. I don't script my stuff. I find when I script it, and I have tried it in the past, I sound like I'm reading from something. So yeah, I just invent it. I invent it as I go along. It's easier that way for me. And my stupid broken head. Mama says I was special. Didn't bring Norman out with me today. It's been very hot. So I've come out, filmed a jacket, which you've probably already watched. I think I released that yesterday. But very hot. Anyway, that's my prattling done. Have a nice weekend. See you soon. Bye. Woo, I hit that one.